Welcome back to the Money Makin Mamas Show. My name is Nancy Wallace-Lobbs, and I am joined by
Kelcie Leica.
And we are so glad you're here. If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you've been a follower, thank you. Kelcie, today we're actually wrapping up season 2. This is going to be our last podcast of season 2. And I thought it would just be fun to just do a recap because you've taken a little bit of a sabbatical the last few weeks. I've been putting out some videos from our YouTube channel. I think we last left off. We were getting ready to go to Walt Disney World.
Which seems like a lifetime ago when it was only like, 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
It was a lot of fun. I know we talked a lot about like preparation and the things that go into planning a Disney trip for a family of 6 with a 4 and a 3-year-old is a lot like purchasing your first rental or first investment.
The down payment.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The down payment and just like all the right steps you have to make and all the right moves to have a good vacation. But it was good.
The roadmap. We had a roadmap. Well, you actually were the one that designed the roadmap.
For anyone that's hasn't been to Disney, you should definitely think about hiring one of those planners because she was amazing. She got up at 6 a.m. on the days we had to book reservations for things and it was really nice. But then when we got to the day-to-day, I planned all that.
You did. And you did a great job. You planned a lot. I feel good because I was able to keep up. We were averaging about 9 to 10 miles a day. And
I still don't think that's accurate. 9 to 10 miles a day?
Well, my feet felt
maybe
like it was
5 miles a day. It was a lot. It was a lot of walking. It was a lot. We did 6 parks in 7 days and 1 rest day. And the kids are quite the troopers, but I think they slept for like 2 days.
Yes. And then I connected with the Foreclosures Daily owners. I have known them since 2018. I've never personally met them. And they drove up and took Brian and I out to dinner. We had a great time and it was really fun to actually meet them in person. I mean, we've had like FaceTime and all of that. So that was very cool. And I did a little video while we were in Orlando and we started marketing in Orlando and almost landed our first deal there, but it wasn't to be. And it was hot.
Could you imagine being there right now?
I think it was a little bit hotter for what they normally do.
I think what I heard was that people were surprised. I told a friend that it hadn't rained the whole entire time we were there. Like it rained like for 2 seconds and they were surprised by that.
Yeah. It was a good trip. It was a very good trip. And then fast forward, you went to Galveston. I went to Fredericksburg. So we have been able to travel. I think that's the cool thing about it being an entrepreneur because you were able to spend more time with the kids this summer because they are in a couple different activities.
Bear's in t-ball and hockey, and then Toby, she's in t-ball, but I don't even know if you can count that she's in t-ball. She got her first medal, but her participation. Just been spending a lot of time with the kids, and Zach has his corporate. Since we invest, it's been nice to have had a lot of time with the kids this summer, which has been really nice. And then we've been able to take trips even during the week. It's not both of us requesting PTO. It's just him. So it's kind of nice.
Yes. And we Bear learned a little bit about lake life, like tubing, but we've been able to get over to the lake a few times this summer. And I can't believe, it's mid-August and school's going to be starting here just in a few days. And then people might have noticed that there's been some changes going on with Money Makin Mamas. What didn't stop, what actually seemed to be picking up is we continued to do marketing for our off-market properties and the phone has been ringing. And just in the last probably 4 weeks, we're going to be closing on 2 different properties because of the market. The market is impacting people wanting to sell. We can buy faster and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of exciting. So because we haven't been 100% on board with doing our pipeline, kind of doing what we need to do. But, I think you should tell people about, we were laughing about this before we got started, about what actually goes behind our podcasting and what have we learned this in season 2 that we didn't know about season 1. Season 1, we were just winging it.
Yeah. Like in the terms of like our preparing. It's a lot easier now. We talked about this before, but like just we've really streamlined our process for this podcast. And I feel like we've been able to walk in here. And since we use Riverside, it's just one connect and we changed our camera, and which has been 10 times easier to set up. And I feel like we look more professional this season versus last season.
Last season one, right? And because we color coordinated, we branding photo shoot.
But even
whatnot.
like our lights alone, and the quality of the camera.
Because I know when people say, "Oh, well, how do you start a podcast?" Sounds easy. Sounds like it was plug and play, and that's what we thought during season one.
Now it's plug and play.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Now that we've, again, figured out what works for us, but in the very beginning, it was not plug and play.
Yeah. And I think it takes us longer now to get ready and like do our hair and
figure out what shirts to wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Season 2 has been really good, I think, because I think you and I have developed, we just were talking about the whole process of just putting the podcast together, but I think our marketing, our social media, it just doesn't seem as hard or time consuming as what we were putting into it. And then at the beginning of the year, we had decided that we would kind of do more, I don't know, I guess the photo shoot with the branding colors and all that kind of stuff. And then we looked at like our new logo that's going to be coming out. We started using different templates on the YouTube. And so I think in season 3, we're going to kind of be more, I think that's the kind of thing I'm looking forward to, is that we're going to have a more consistent look to our social media and everything. And I think that as we'll be going into our 3rd year, not just our season 3, but 3rd year as a company. And I think us evolving been really kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, for us personally and for fun times. So I think when people listen, we talk about a whole bunch of different things, but time, consistency. And then one thing that I noticed is that I have been talking less and less about real estate investing and more about how to become and have more financial options.
Right.
Because we talk about real estate and that's one vehicle for investing, but you and I have talked about looking at the stock market.
Yeah.
And, how do you use Bitcoin? All of the things that you can start investing in. One of our guests that we had this past season was Crystal, who does the note mortgages and things like that. So it's been interesting as we've evolved that we're talking more about a process of investing and how to make financial decisions.
And I think also too, one thing that I feel like we're both really honing in on is, although we've had time this summer, is really finding not necessarily the perfect investment property, but the perfect steps to that property. And yeah, it might be nitpicky, but I think both of us I don't want to spend, we've both, I know properties wise, we've looked at several and then we've asked ourselves, okay, realistically, how much time can we give to this? And do we want to give this much time to it? And how much ROI and all that stuff? And so it's not being picky, but it's just being what we're going to invest in and what we're not going to invest in.
Exactly. And I think what you hit it on the head about the time, because this last property that we went out and looked at was an hour and 3 minutes one way with no traffic. And it needed a whole lot of work. And so in my mind, there was enough margin. We got that property under contract and there was enough margin to do a flip. And we looked at it and we analyzed it and we said, okay, but the time and effort.
And it's not always about the biggest paycheck.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, I'm deciding to be an entrepreneur because I want to have more time in my pocket, but I don't want to spend 2 hours in the car every single day.
Exactly.
Trying to go flip this property.
And then managing it and all of that.
And then you put kids into the equation for me and that doesn't work for me. It's just that season of life. That would work for me later on, but not right now.
And if it was closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. The last few properties, I have found that we are now kind of moving into this role as almost consultants with sellers. And we worked with one family that, we just said, hey, you should keep this house. You should consider keeping it as a rental. And we walked them through the steps of what that would be. And it was interesting. One of the houses that we got under contract in the last few weeks was from a referral that I had bought this lady's house 6 years ago. So it just goes to show that if you do a good job and you help people out, they'll remember that. I think during COVID, it was easier to go to properties far away because that's the last time that we did a property over in that area was just, it was just easier to drive over there. You didn't have all the traffic and whatnot. But now I just couldn't couldn't imagine it. And then also like you, I just don't want to spend the time managing flips anymore. And it was interesting because I also hadn't, and we hadn't, because we've always kept the properties. I hadn't really built my buyer's list. I should. And so it's very interesting how I had to go about building kind of a new, I won't say I had to start completely over, but I had to start in a way that I hadn't done for a long time. So the last couple of properties have been good for me because I've almost like revisited things that I did 10 years ago about how to really quickly move a property when you need to. So I thought that was very interesting, but it's kind of helped me reconnect with my younger investor self. In season 2, I think we evolved a lot into Money Making Mamas. But what we've also learned is that our audience isn't just women. We have men, and we have in our demographics, the last time that we looked at it, it was kind of surprisingly, it's almost 50-50.
Yeah.
So men, we welcome you. And so some of the things that we've done is, and we've talked to a ton of people that because of high gas prices right now, high interest rates, people are looking for other ways to make money.
Yeah.
And so we started talking to people about how to build income beyond your paycheck. So you just weren't dependent on that one source of income, because that can be scary, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have, like, that's kind of where when you decided that you wanted to invest in real estate, that was a question you asked yourself. Now I'm going to be dependent on one source of income.
Yeah. Well, and not even just to pause really quick, but also too, for people to build an extra income, but also too, to start saving for the kids, because that's where I was, like, to start saving for the kids for college, or, a wedding gift one day, or a wedding in general.
Or just paying for their sports.
Yeah, or just paying, yes.
Or piano lessons or dance lessons. Moms and dads ask that question, where's the money coming from? So, and people can't just afford to quit their job. I mean, you were kind of fortunate because you had me to get you right in there and show you right away. And you already believed, where people that are listening and they're like, well, how does this work? So that's why we have the master class now. It's all about, is real estate the right investing vehicle for you? Because it's not for everybody. And what we look at is, don't be dependent on one source of income. You don't have to be. I mean, that could be Social Security. That could be 401k. One of the families that we just helped, the source of income or the source of retirement was the equity in the house. And that was it. If you start early enough, or it doesn't really matter what age you are, because interestingly enough, we have demographics that are in your age, but also in my age, right? So it's never too late to start. And I think people just need to be assured that if they want to do this, they can do this.
Yeah.
And actually now's the best time to do it, I think, because of whenever it turns into a buyer's market, days on market and all of that. And I think that's why we've been so busy the last few months, because there's been a change in the market.
I think it's also too, like, buyer's market, and then also too, kids are going back to school. So you automatically have time back into your pockets. And so, by the time this airs, kids will be in school. So I think that's also a big thing too.
I think one of the things that I've learned this past year talking to people, because when we tell people the name of our company, Money Making Mamas, they think, oh, that's so cute, blah, 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 very memorable. But then what our message has been, and it was, and we still help moms, right? But then it's kind of evolved into women, professional men. And then, not that our message is for everybody, but it has evolved into people who are looking to build a second income, and they don't want to just be dependent on one paycheck.
Right.
And that they don't have to quit their job. Like, I think people don't realize there's 6 easy steps just to figure out if this is what you want to do. And it doesn't take a lot of time. We've said this before. We have a ton of stuff out there. So I think I'm very passionate now about letting people know you can do this, if you're looking to have financial options, which you and I talked about, like financial options to, I don't know, have your time that you want and spend your money and give it away and do whatever.
Go take a vacation.
I am going to talk about one of the vacations I took this summer by myself.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell a story about Disneyland.
Disney World.
Yeah. So when we went there, of course, the grandbabies were there and whatnot. And, I think when we talk about different seasons of our lives, we have to actually be real with ourselves and say, okay, Kelcie, you're in a different season of your life than I am. And I never I mean, never took a trip where I just went, I didn't know anybody, I had to share a room with other women. And it was one of the best things I ever did because I came back and I got very, very focused. When you were young, we used to do this thing where we said coffee talk. You know, remember that? We said that you'd get up and before you went to school, I have my coffee and we'd always have coffee talk. And so I ended up finding this book called Coffee Self-Talk. And this might sound too wooey for some people, but I started doing this coffee self-talk and I could tell you that my life and Money Makin Mamas business has propelled since I started taking the steps that I learned in that book. And you've noticed too.
I think it's just about more of a positive mindset, just being positive.
Being positive.
So I think when you're more positive, you're more open-minded. And so when you're open-minded, you'll take opportunities because they lead to open doors.
I used to think people were fearful. This is what I think this is one of the biggest things I've learned this year is that it's not fear that stops you from doing whatever. It's self-doubt.
No, but I think just, self-doubt. Like, I think that just goes hand in hand. Like, you're either negative or you're positive. If you're more negative, you're going to notice more negative things. If you're positive, you're going to notice more positive things. I think one thing that I heard a long time ago I'm not the best about it, but, someone said, what was it? Now that I like always have it in the back of my mind. It was basically, I had a bad day, but did you really, or did you just have a bad 5 minutes? And you let it like go over your whole entire day. And so I, try to follow by that. Am I the best about it? No. I think positive equals positive and negative equals negative. That's simple.
But one of the things I've noticed with this kind of self-talk, this being positive yourself when you're going out there and talking to people is that I think sellers are shocked when I say, I don't need to buy your house.
Yeah.
And I start giving them other ways to solve their financial problem with the house, but it doesn't always mean I should buy the house.
Right.
What's happened is that now we're getting more referrals from people because I'm not somebody coming in there and saying, I want to buy your house.
Right.
I'm giving them solutions. So I thought that was an observation I've made. And that just was very recent.
Stay positive.
I'm looking forward to season 3. Should be cooler by the time we get ready to record.
Yeah.
I do want to mention our Shopify store. We have a Shopify store now. You can go shopping at it's called the MMM Resource Center. I'll drop the link below, but there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Well, Kelcie, what do you want to leave our listeners with as we say goodbye to season 2? We're almost at 2,000 people.
No, that's
2,000
awesome.
downloads. So thank you. I want to say thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Just stay positive. I think just having an open mind, whether that's investing in real estate or investing in Bitcoin or investing in yourself, have an open mind and be positive. And I think we've always left it. If you ever have any questions, either comment or email us. And happy to just talk. I think that's where we're both at, is we're happy just to answer questions. Thank you for those that are listening and continue to support us. It means a lot.
It does. So, and we're looking forward to season 3 and what all brings that, and that we're going to be talking more about financial options, not just real estate investing.
Yep.
Thanks for a great season, Kelcie.
Thanks.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.